We've declared a small war for Skov, both of their provinces. We've fabricated claims first so we can pay a little less admin for it. And nope. Started 1542. Wonder if we can get down to less than a year. That was what I was going to say. And it looks like yes is the answer. Take their money. Only 25 of it. Sucks. Kinda wish we could get a little bit more. Muscovy, Novgorod, Pskov, Tver are going to be in the can form a coalition, but I don't think they have enough countries in it to do so. Looks good. We'll mothball that fort. I'm guessing we don't really have any war exhaustion. 0.03. Let's just score now. Alright. I can buy military tech whenever I want to / need to. But now, I think, comes the next war with Novgorod. That'll also put us at war with Tver and Perm. Out of curiosity, who would be willing to come into this war? Sweden hates them, so Sweden will say yes. Aragon's way too far away. I was hoping Bohemia might say yes, but it's a pretty distant war for. They're fighting in another war and have war exhaustion. Does Tver have any more allies other than Novgorod? No. Does Perm? Also no. So it looks like I'm going to be declaring a war with two other nations as co-belligerents, and I will only be dealing with 3 of them, and 2 of them are pretty weak, and we'll have Sweden and our vassal to help. What is our naval force limit? 20 out of 24. I'm going to build 5 ships. Because I actually picked up an idea that I realized I haven't used yet, and I can start exploring stuff. We're probably definitely not going to colonize the New World, but I still want to see what's going on. And we might be able to do the 7 cities of gold. Might be helpful for stuff. Alright. 5. Okay. Still got a loan. We're making money though, so I'm not too worried. But I mothballed that fort, now I realize I didn't want to. We'll activate all of our border forts, or forts near a border. And that I'm going to give that a couple months to allow them to have a few or a little bit of a garrison. What is our supply limit here now? 23. That is not what I want it to be. I'll move these guys to revolve just so we don't suffer attrition come winter. Is it worth it to take tech now, this military tech now? I'll wait until January. That'll bring it down to a 5% extra that we're paying on it. The vast and endless sea. Unlike the calling to the battlefields of land, a matter of duty and search for glory, the sea calls to many free spirits who care little for such things. Stories of sailing the oceans of the world and the past expeditions of the Commonwealth fleet are retold by old sailors as adventurers. Many of the great sights remembered, many of the great sacrifices forgotten. Is it any wonder, with such a legacy, that the youths of Commonwealth yearn for the vastness of the sea. Many more have come to join our navy over the past years. Some may end their lives at the bottom of the ocean, but those who return are sure to keep their stories alive. Oh boy, sailors. Completely, well, not completely useless, but mostly useless. To us, anyway. We're not like a huge naval power, so... I can pieced out Cologne. Yeah, I'm going to go to war in January, I think. What is Novgorod's? They're at 11 military tech. We'll be at 12. What is Belarus's? 10. Sweden's 10. Could be better overall, but take another exploration idea. And where do I want to start my wars from? I think piecing out Tver early would be a good idea. So I'll move these guys into Moscow. These guys near Moscow. Do they have any forts? They have a capital fort, and that's it. Sounds like a pretty easy way to go. Let's go ahead and invest in military tech. Don't really want... Oh, wait. I'm going to have to let my morale recover again. So, which do I want? I think it's mostly a choice between morale and fire at this point. We have offensive, so I think I'm actually gonna go with fire. Oh wait, no, it's also a choice between offensive and defensive. We are probably going to have the larger armies in this, so I'm going to go with offensive. I'm also going to bring these guys in. Those guys are probably going to cross paths just like these ones and suffer, again, unnecessary attrition. And I think in this one, my primary goal is to basically bridge Novgorod to get to Siberia and start colonizing over there. Whoa, Bukhara is way up there. I didn't think they got that far north. Or, like, I didn't think anything that far north was colonized. Out of curiosity, who are they allied with? Kangra and Jaunpur. And also out of curiosity, who is, or what is their military like? Bukhara, that's right. That was what their name was. They only have 6,000 troops. I'm sad I'm not declaring war on them right now. I will eventually, though. Probably whenever they have their full force limit and are the scariest country on Earth. No, let's be honest. Ming is probably the scariest place on Earth right now. Other than us. And it's not scary it's not really scary, it's just they're scary to us. Let's go ahead and call Sweden in, and also check these guys as co-belligerents. I'll move in. Let's hire another general. Kind of crappy. Pretty crappy, actually. Not as good as our other guy. But I will move him in there, and then we'll see the allies come in. Move right in on Kashin. And Uryev. Occupy everything right away. What's Belazero doing? They are set to siege. If I enforce religion on... No, I don't want to enforce religion on them. Yeah, so I'll keep them on siege. They're probably going to get fully occupied and going to be really bad for them, but we've won the battle. I'm actually willing to separate my armies right here and siege both, or occupy both at the same time, roughly. And they should be out of this war in a few months, hopefully. How many forts does Novgorod have? Just, it looks like 4, plus their capital up in Kolmogori. I almost butchered that. I might have still butchered it, but maybe not as bad as I was probably going to do. How many troops does Novgorod have? Novgorod has 10,000 infantry, 4,000 cav, and 1,000 artillery. Got up to 71% in Luki. They'd accept peace right now, and I can take all of their money as well. The only ones who would be going into a coalition would be Muscovy, Novgorod, and Tver. One of them's about to not exist anymore. Give you a hint, it's Tver. Am I willing to... First of all, what is my... I mean, yeah, I do need to core these right away. But my bigger question, I think, is do I want to raise... Do I want to raise autonomy here? I'm going to say no for now. Sweden's doing whatever they're doing. Can't say it's good or bad, but it looks kind of disappointing. I don't think Muscovy is going to grant military access to anybody at this point. Trying to decide. Start in the east or start in the west. Or, I mean, focus on the west or divide my troops and try to do two at the same time. Actually going to do it from both sides. They're done in Luki. Now all that's left over here is just to. All right, I built light ships. All right. Where is Sweden going? To Ladoga? Okay. It's fair. That's fair enough. And I want kind of a waste of Diplo points to do this, but maybe. It might be a waste of Diplo points. Let's explore the West African Sea, or North Atlantic. Explore ready. He'll leave. We've got too many leaders. 4 out of 3. No leader. We will get rid of that admiral. And then I'll wait for the little bit of damage we took to our trade fleet. I also want to set this guy to... Yeah, I want him to be cautious. And... yeah, let's go with repair threshold default. He shouldn't suffer any attrition, but... I still like to just be safe. Sweden's dealing with Perm's armies. Okay, we're done there. Actually going to move to Tikven, I think. Move these guys up to Neva. Come winter, we're going to have some attrition that's going to be pretty bad. Same opposes Maximilian von Habsburg. Of course they do. Powerful faction within the same has made it clear their displeasure and dislike for Maximilian von Habsburg, whom they view as a foreigner. Well, all of our rulers tend to be foreigners, but apparently he's still the heir. I am actually going to try to force him to be my ruler. I'm not going to put this guy in charge of any armies yet, but I am going to hope for his death. Because a 3-4-5 would be pretty good. Occupied Tikven and Neva. Send the bigger one south and the smaller one north. The enemy armies are pretty much devastated. Poor payments. A number of other countries have been tardy in paying their mercenaries. It's created a number of captains who need to pay their men. We get decreased mercenary maintenance. Our king is now strict, giving us discipline. Right? It's pretty good. The tolerance of the true faith is going to hurt on the other guy. But, at the same time, I'm not too worried. Us not being at peace means that our fervent focus is actually... We're actually losing fervor. Won the Siege of Ustiag. I can't go in to Perm because of the hostile fort here. Alright. I'll take care of it another way. And then I'll move the 13 out into Ustiag. Cossack expansion. Borders can often be theoretical things, especially in the wild fields. It seems the Cossacks have expanded rapidly into an area that previously wasn't under their control. We could attempt to reverse this development, but the Cossacks would likely not take kindly to being removed from the land they have worked hard to settle. Pronsk will come under the control of the Cossacks, or I can reclaim it, and I'll just give it to them now, and then remove it later in about a year. So next January I need to take it back. I wonder, will Sweden take any of this occupy any of this for themselves? I'm hoping probably Kola, and Novgorod has occupied Finnmark. Okay. You know what, Sweden, you can deal with the extreme north yourself. I am going to move these guys over to Belozero army and actually change. Once I get there, I'm going to change them to attaching. We've won the Siege of Vyatka, and we've also occupied this. Move in on Perm and try to pretty much, I don't want to say bankrupt, but that's what our goal is pretty much going to be there. We have loans. When is that? August 1st of 1545. So that's a year and a half away. Wow, Sweden, that's very inconvenient. And I want them to be supportive. They're going to move off that, aren't they? No, they didn't. Thank God. Or they did. But Sweden's just an idiot. Just go siege again. I turned that off, right? Continue to move across Novgorod. And they're just heading right into Sweden more. Suffering all the attrition they can with the severe winter. Of course, we're not faring any better as far as the winters go. Let's barrage here. That gives us an instant wall breach. Occupied Mologa. I'll move up to Vologda and then down to Kostroma. I was wondering if we were going to catch them before I sent them in, so Glad we did. Won the siege of Kolmogori. I almost said Kostroma, but that's where we were just looking at. Not what I was actually interested in. And Perm is most of the way occupied. All we need to do is win a siege and take their capital, and they'll be wanting out of the war as well. So far, so good. Going pretty well, actually. Novgorod's splitting up probably to try to carpet siege in Sweden. But I'm going to end the episode here. We're already at 62% war score, and Novgorod wants out of this war.